Front Stoop, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And you can see we got an all-star cast here tonight as we're getting ready to break down this Nas Magic album. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna go song by song and give an authentic review of every single joint on the album. Of course, you guys that's out there listening, we're gonna get your input. All of that. Let me get some introductions here, and we're going to jump right into it. Tony Crow, what's popping with you, brother? How you feeling?
You already know. Yo, Blackest Time. Magic.
No doubt. Savvy D in the building.
Yo, what's good? Back on the Stoop Kids bike. We're ready to get into this nasty Nas Magic album. I'm real excited. Hip hop. Let's run it.
And then we got my man Jarrell. He's been here before. Hasn't been, it's been a while, but hopefully we're gonna, get this thing more consistent. Jarrell, what's good with you, bro?
Salute to everybody. Glad to be on the Stoop again. We all Knicks fans. We're gonna try to get the energy, keep the energy going on these Nas.
Exactly.
On these Nas tonight. So
exactly. And then, we got the Jay-Z aficionado. Who's here to, try to keep us Nas fans in check. And you know how it is. You know what I mean? Ron from Still Knicks Fans. What's poppin', man?
What's going on, y'all? Hey, it's Ron, a.k.a. Still Knicks Fans, a.k.a. Jay-Z Smash Best in the building. We taking Nas. I'm just playing. I like Nas, too, though.
He ain't
like
just
Nas.
playing. He's serious. He's not just playing. He's serious. You know what I'm saying? He's serious. Anyway. Let's start off. Just everybody heard the album, right? The entire. It's only 9 songs. It's a short album, 30 minutes long or whatever it is. So everybody heard the song, the album, and just a quick initially. What did you think about the album before we start breaking it down? Just your initial thoughts on the album, and then we'll go song by song. Tony, I'll start with you.
After the first listen, I said, yo, it's better than KD2. And after listening to it for all this time, I agree. I still think that. So I didn't rush to judgment. Off first listen, I was like, yo, he just keep getting better with this this duo.
Okay, all right. Savvy, your first thoughts?
Man, there were not very many skips on KD1 or KD2 for me. But for this one, seemed like he wasted no time. He spared no breath. He got right down to business from jump, and he trimmed all the fat down to give us some of the youngest, freshest, most energetic Nas raps we've heard in a long time.
All right. Jarrell?
Very first listen, I thought it was better than 2. Second listen, I thought it was better than both of them. So it's actually my favorite Nas project in a minute.
Okay. All right. I know it's mine too. I mean, King's. Both of the King's Disease albums. I love both of them. I think this one. I just feel it was way more concise than the other two. Like Savvy said, cut the fat from around the meat, and just gave you the meat.
All Nas did was rap.
Yeah,
it was no tricks. It was only one feature.
Right.
So
you know what I'm saying?
It was just Nas and Hit Boy, and that's it. It was no filler.
Yeah, no doubt. Ron.
Listen, if you want the honest truth, I only skimmed through it. I was actually more excited about being here to kind of really break it down and go through it again, because I'll be honest, a lot of music I've been looking forward to hearing and seeing. I just haven't had a time to really digest everything. So but I will say from what I heard, I like the way him in the mix of him and Hit Boy. I'm digging this more than when I heard King's Disease 1. I like how it's set up more on this album than King Disease 1. And King Disease 2, I'm not ready to say it's better than that yet. I mean, for me.
Okay.
That was a good album.
Do you fools listen to music or do you just skim through it?
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You know, initially for me, I wondered, was this kind of like a lost tapes type of thing where, you know, there were songs from KD1 and KD2 that just didn't fit, and they said, hey, let's throw them on here, maybe update a couple of verses to make it, you know, relevant, and, you know, did a little bit of mixing here, a little bit of mixing there. I don't know. You know, I still think, you know, when I listen to some of it, I still feel like, this sounds like KD2, or this sounds like, you know, King's Disease 1. People say, nah, that it's all original music. So, you know, I'm going to take it for what it is, that it's original music. You know what I'm saying? But I felt like, see, when I listen to King's Disease and King's Disease 2, they feel more like albums to me. Just, you know, because of the different themes that's touched on within the songs. Here, I just feel like he's rapping. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I just feel like he's rapping, that there's no particular themes of it. There's not a particular theme of the song that you're listening to. You know what I'm saying? And that's what kind of made me feel like, you know, is this a lost tape type of thing, or a mixtape type of thing, or, you know, just some tracks that they had and they said to throw it out there, you know, but not really make it a full on album that's part of the King's Disease trilogy, which we now know it's going to be. You know, and I don't think that takes anything away from it. It's just, that's my initial thoughts on the album.
Hey, Sim, on the contrary, I think at least 3 of the tracks he referenced things that happened within the last 2 months.
Right.
So I noticed that off jump. Now, one of them is the ad lib when he talks about the Avant lady who got killed. That was like an ad lib, so he could have thrown that in. Mm-hmm. But Young Dolph and I forget what the other one. The other one he mentioned were like in the middle of the record or whatever. Right. But you're definitely not the only person who, like, because I was looking at Twitter and talking to some friends, and a couple of my friends felt the same way. Like, or at least they said it gave them a Lost Tapes vibe. So I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, and you know, even with Lost Tapes, the original Lost Tapes, he Do-Rags was an addition. You know what I'm saying? So they made something that can be a single to kind of lead it off and sell some units. Mm-hmm. You know, and so that was a newer track that they just added to the Lost Tapes. You know, I mean, whatever it is, it doesn't even matter to me. You know, it's a dope joint. And to, you know, to look at the resurgence that Nas is having in his late years, who would have thought that it was going to be like that? You know what I think
I think he was waiting for this.
Yeah,
if you follow Nas's life, like, he went through a lot. Like, he wasn't making music for a minute. It was reasons for that, like making money elsewhere, divorce.
Right.
You know, life happens, and, you know, people forgot about him. But once he got locked in, I think it all started when the album he made with Kanye didn't do what it was supposed to. I think after that, I think he said, F everything. I'm going to lock in with Hit Boy, and, you know, the rest is history.
Yeah, because he didn't drop an album from, I think, Life is Good came out in 2012. Mm-hmm. And he didn't drop anything until, you know, a couple of verses and things here and there, but he didn't drop anything until 2018, right?
Right.
I mean, that's 6 years. That's a lot of time. You know what I mean?
Hey, time flies when you're making hundreds of millions of dollars in investments.
Yeah, no doubt about that. No doubt about that.
Right.
I'm so glad.
Right.
I'm so glad he's rich, because now he can just go to the studio and rap for fun.
Yeah.
And it's better than all of the stuff that he did when he was trying to make money as a rapper.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know what I'm saying? Not all of it, but like, you see the zone he gets in when he's just having fun. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. So this is how this is gonna go, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna listen to a little snippet of the song. All right, and then after we listen to the snippet of the song, we're all going to give it a score. All right, we're gonna give it a score from, from 1 to 10, and then we'll tally up our scores, and that's gonna be the score of the song. So what you're gonna see right now, I'm gonna bring this up on the screen. All right, you see, this is our scores sheet. Oh, hold up, I didn't bring it up. Let me get it up there now. All right, you see now, this is our score sheet. All right.
Okay.
And what we're gonna do is, after we tally up the score, we'll say Speechless gets a 10. We'll put a 10 in. Right. We'll do that for each song, and then we'll get a final score, and that'll be what we rate the album. And of course, we're gonna get feedback from the chat as well. So, we'll monitor the chat. We'll see what the chat is saying. Is it a 9, 10, 8, 7, whatever it is? And we'll get a consensus from the chat, and then we'll add all of our scores. There's 5 of us, 1 from the chat. That's 6, and we'll do all the division and the math and all that kind of stuff, to get a complete score. So that's the way we're going to rock with it tonight, all right, and score the album. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the first song. All right, you guys know what the first song is Speechless. All right, and then we'll go around. Everybody, we'll take 30 seconds, say something about it, and then give a score, and then we'll tally up the scores. All right, so let me go ahead and get Speechless up here ready to go. And yeah, we'll make this thing happen. You get my compression off so we don't get a funny sound. So we're gonna do the first about 30 seconds of the song, then we'll break it down. Speechless.
I don't even know what's going on no more. I don't even know what's happening, man. There ain't no answers. I'ma figure some shit out though, yeah. Just try to get my weight up. Try to get all my watches in order. Get my safe up. Get great. I'm 21 years past the 27 club. It's like I went back into my past and then I sped it up. Robert Johnson, Winehouse, and Morrison found where heaven was. Heaven on earth, this shit is magic with no fairy dust. Home of the gully gangster, the gruesome and the scary stuff. I told my brother drunk, fuck them, they gon' go through hell with us. They don't have a history in the streets that compare with us. Hood niggas, they wanna be us. Thugs in the St. Regis, only thing undefeated is time. The second is the internet, number 3 is this rhyme. Before security, my dog had to sneak in the 9. God must be on my side, I had to eat and provide. My winning streak is divine. I told Thun, leave the street shit behind. Don't let them hype you with slow run beats, cheating the grind. Dog, I'm telling it like it is. You gotta do
All right, there it is right there. That was Speechless, ladies and gentlemen. We'll go ahead and stop that. Like I said, I would love to be able to play the entire track, but we can't do it. We don't want to get in trouble. All right, so let me start with my man Tony. Tony, I'm gonna start with you. Speechless. All right, just give me your rundown of it, what you think about it, really quick. Your reaction to it, and then go out your score.
10. I thought it was a perfect introduction. That was one of my few complaints with KD2. I thought he should have led with the third track on KD2. But yeah, classic Nas. He wasn't on 10, but the beat was perfect for him. And yeah, one of my favorite songs on there.
All right, Savvy.
Muted.
You're muted, Savvy.
My fault. I agree, it's a 10. I love the beat. The beat is very minimalistic. You got hard drums. You got a very thin smattering of some instruments there. It's a very atmospheric, low key sound. Gives Nas a lot of space to just talk and set the scenery. He has great imagery, Nas, and the way that he approached the flow and the delivery on the end of his bars. On 21 years past the 27 club, and then I sped it up. Like, you immediately get the energy he's gonna give you on this album. I love the flows he chose for the whole album. The flows he chose on this one was different than what we usually get. 10 for me.
Okay, 10. Jarrell?
And I might as well get this out the way. It's a 10. A lot of this, though, especially with most of these songs, since we only got 9 of them, I'm not going to even talk about Nas, really. Because Nas is Nas.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to talk about Hit Boy more.
Okay.
Because that beat is like, if you know who Hit Boy is, he's from California.
Yeah.
The fact that he's making these beats and they sound like this for Nas is nuts. Producers usually don't. Producers are usually regional and they have a regional sound.
Mm-hmm.
Hit Boy already proved to you with KD 1 and 2 that he doesn't have that. And this is even more of a New York sound than those two were. So this is a 10. It could have been on another Nas album and it would have sounded the same. Hit Boy is immaculate for that.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of these songs are 10, not because of Nas, because Nas is Nas. Nas is going to be a 10 rapping, period.
Yeah.
So it matters what music he's rapping on. This album, I'm not saying the album is perfect, but it's perfect for Nas, like the sound that he embodies. But we'll go through all of them.
Yeah.
But that's why I give that a 10. And most of these is going to be because of Hit Boy, not him.
Yeah,
So.
and that makes it is making a big difference for Nas, because you always know Nas is going to, there's just
Nas
a
is Nas.
certain level that he's going to come with, and you know he's going to come with it. Now it's about how does the music work around him?
Right.
You know what I mean? Ron. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh man. So I mean, y'all like Nas like
Ron,
that.
let me be like 6.5. Yo, Ron, you about to get beat up, man. Don't do that.
Don't be bringing the scores
Crazy,
down,
man.
bro.
Like, don't
Nah,
be disrespectful.
Well, look, I will tell you honestly, when I first heard it, I was like, whoa, this beat is fire. Like, this is like, it just put me in a nice state of mind. Like, it had a nice groove to it, and I really liked it. And I liked the fact that I was like, this is a beat for Nas that Nas don't usually get, or at least hasn't been getting up until Hit Boy. Like, this takes me back to like olds. And I think I just want to say this real quick. I think as Nas fans, people get spoiled. I'm a Nas fan. I'm a bigger Jay-Z fan, but I'm still a Nas fan. I think Nas fans got spoiled by the level of production that was on, the original album, Illmatic, because of all the incredible beats. And oh man, it's just like we got spoiled. And then after that, we just never saw that same consistency of good beats. He's had good beats here and there, definitely on It Was Written and different things, but just like to see a nice level of it consistently, we haven't really seen too much of it until this connection with Hit Boy, which I'm starting to really dig. But Speechless for me is a 10. I'll be honest with you. When I first heard it, I had took a point off because I was like, you know what? And this sounds like a weird comparison. I felt like Nas came into his verse sounding like Logic, trying to be Nas, if that makes sense. Because you know how Logic has a thing for mimicking other artists. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but when I heard it, I was like, yo, I could see Logic coming in like that.
Yeah.
But Logic would be mimicking Nas. So it's funny. I don't know. But I still think
I hear what you're saying.
But
I definitely get what you're saying.
Yeah, and I hear what you're saying about the way he said, the way he came in, the way, the cadence, I guess, maybe.
Right, the cadence,
Right.
the cadence.
I've heard him do this. If you listen to Distant Relatives on the song Africa Must Wake Up, he did the same thing with the cadence.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard him do the same thing with the cadence. You know what I mean? And of course, that goes back before Life Is Good. But if you listen to it, and the first time I heard it, I was like, that sounds a little different from Nas for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But I've heard him do it from time to time. As a matter of fact, I think on Life Is Good, he did it a little bit on the song The World Is an Addiction. I think he did it a little bit there too. With kind of I don't know. I don't even.
And just
know
so you know,
cadence,
Speechless is my favorite song on the album. So
okay. All right. So there we go. We got Speechless from the
that
chat.
That just means he gonna give him the rest like sevens. That's all. That's all.
I was gonna
Preface that he had to stay.
Right.
It's only downhill from here.
Right. That's what he's saying. It's downhill from here.
Yeah,
That's exactly
crazy.
what he's saying. It's all downhill from here now. In the chat, it looks like the chat gave him all a 10 as well. So clearly, Speechless, ladies and gentlemen, you can see it up on your screen, gets a 10. All right, in the score. So already we're off to a good start. Speechless got a 10. And yeah, let's go ahead. We're going to get to Meet Joe Black. There's a lot to talk about with this one right here. Meet Joe Black. You know what I mean? I did a video that stirred up some, I guess, a little bit of controversy with some people. All right, because I think there's some clear references here for me, but we'll get to it. We'll talk about it. This is Meet Joe Black.
Why would I ever have to cop a chain again when the QB chain birthed most of the chains in the game? No post office, we stamping time. Took a slice out of the big apple, made apple pies, family size. Leather bombers and Nike Sacai's. Dangerous corners, you better pray that tomorrow arrives. Rap, Sugar Ray Robinson, nothing sweet. Y'all too out of shape to even box with me. Heavyweight, I know my way around the ring. Just like Shorty know her way around the storm. Making hits with Hit Boy, all he gotta do is hit record. Record breaking news, had to show up just to fill a void. Confused boy, little boys, y'all better keep your poise. Leave me out of the weasel shit. Be cool when you see me, I'm hot at all that rap diva shit. The hood know you pussy, so we don't buy or believe in it. Locked in on the instrumental, I took back the key to this. Run me the keys, run me the bees, run me that flow back. Your top 3, I'm not number 1, how could you post that? I would have crowned the city is mine, you cannot hold that. I'm not the one to go back, you fuck around me, Joe Black. Run me the keys.
All right, we're going to stop it right there, ladies and gentlemen. And I think most people already know what I'm referencing when I say what I just said before we got into the song. All right. So I'll start with Tony. I'll get you to answer this question. Give me your review of this song and then your score. Is he talking to Ron's boy when he says, the city is mine, I wear the crown, you cannot hold that? Is he talking to Ron's boy?
Here's what I'm gonna say. I don't think he was. I thought he was saying it to everybody. You know, like, because New York is kind of making its way back on the hip hop scene. It's probably at the height it's been in many years. So I think he was just trying to remind these young guys who he is, and some of the older, the older guys. Now, I will say this though. I think you made a great point when you said Jay heard the album before we heard the album.
Definitely.
So, yeah,
I think
definitely
the album triggered Jay-Z to make the comments he made.
Okay.
More, you know what I mean? So I'll say that. So when I first heard the song off the first listen, I thought this was my least favorite song on the album. Like, and now it's one of my favorite songs. Again, it's a 10.
For me, it was one of my least favorites when I heard it too. I was like, I don't know. But the more I listened to it, the more it rose up the charts for me really quick.
Even how he starts it with, why would I ever have to buy another chain again when the QB chain like, when I sat back and just thought about it and thought about the influence, you know what I mean, he had when he came out with the big, brolic QB piece, like the original. Yeah, and then you definitely started seeing it.
Yeah.
More and more people with the, the big medallions and all that. So, yeah, shout out to Nas.
Yeah, I mean, I think subliminally it is. right? One, because he says the city is mine. And I know people are going to say, well, people say the city is mine all the time. But just in reference to the whole King of New York thing, when you talk about the city is mine, Jay-Z made the song The City Is Mine right after Big passed, claiming the city. Right? And in that song, there were clear references to Nas. So to me, when he says the city is mine, obviously I wear the crown. You cannot hold that. It just sounds like a reference to me. And to me, I believe that those guys have been taking verbal jabs for years. Even after they became cool friends and all of that, I still believe they've been taking verbal jabs, sparring, having some verbal sparring, which is cool. That's what they're supposed to do. But you gave it a 10, Tony Savvy?
I give this one an 11. Nah, I'm kidding. I give it a 10. First of all, I love when he asks questions when he raps. Because he picks the right questions. And the fact that he is who he is, you already know what the answer is. But he started the rhyme with a question that was hard. Talking about the QB chain, the influence. Run me the keys, run me the beats, run me that flow back. Top 3, I'm not number 1. How could you post that? Anybody can get it when it comes to Nas. Everybody knows. Go on.
No, I was going to say, after you said that, can I jump in there for a second? Because I know this would be reaching, right? Mm-hmm. But when he says, I'm top 3, I'm not number 1, how could you post that? Right?
Yeah. Is it Biggie, right? Jay-Z, or Nas?
Right. And yeah. Biggie, Jay-Z, or Nas. And it comes right after Jay-Z is on the internet. Obviously, he didn't post something, but, you can kind of say, you post it. I mean, it just sounds like there's some verbal jarring going on, man. You know what I mean?
Bro, listen.
And a lot of people bring up, I seen a lot of people in my little comment section bring up, Nas shouted him out on the album, da-da-da. I got something to say about that too, but I'll let you finish. Go ahead, Savvy. Give me your score.
For sure. I think Ron makes a great point about the versatility of the sound that Hit Boy brings. You know what I mean? He's from the West Side. He makes beats that transcend a regional sound. He's been one of my favorites since he's just first started getting on. I had 2 guys that I had my eye on in terms of production. Mm-hmm. Right after the Lex Luger era, that was Mike Will made it, and it was Hit Boy. Mike Will became a huge superstar. He was producing for Ray Shremmerd, doing all kinds of stuff, and was one of the predominant names. It was him. It was Beethoven. It was Metro Boomin. It was Tay Keith a bit later on, but then Hit Boy kind of took a different route than all these guys did, right? I wasn't hearing his name as much, but he would have a beat somewhere that I heard him like, this is the hardest thing I ever heard. He has that grinding my whole life beat that G-Unit used. I don't think they was even allowed to use it, but it was just that hot. And when I heard he was going to be teaming up with Nas for the King's Disease albums, I was very intrigued to see what the sound was going to be. This beat right here, to me, is one of the hardest beats that I've heard him produce in my entire life. And there's only one other beat on this album, to me, that can rival the beat that we just heard on this song. And it's another Nas flow that I haven't heard a lot of. I love when he goes double, triple time. And when he brings his braggadocio with him, we've been getting some really introspective, reflective albums. When he brings his braggadocio and plants his flag, you're about to meet Joe Black, you're about to meet Death. Yo.
All right. So you give it a 10? Or what do you
I give it a 10.
You give it a 10. All right. So Savvy get a 10.
I give it a 10.
Jarrell?
We're not doing halves, right?
You can do a half, yeah.
Yeah, you can do
I add it up in there.
Get 8.5 then. I don't want to give it an 8 because I think the beat is hard enough for it to be a 10. I'm not the biggest fan of the hook. the flow and the verses is Nas. Yeah, the Sugar Ray Robinson line. I don't want to talk about Nas. Like Nas is Nas, like I said. So it has to be like technical stuff that I'm listening for. That's why I give it like an 8.5, because Nas is Nas. So to make it short, I would. Everything that Savvy and Tony said was right though. Like the beat and the way he rhymed on it was fire. Like, but I'm gonna just get 8.5. I didn't like the hook too much. Hook is a little too choppy for me. I don't like that.
I didn't like it when I first heard it either.
Right.
From playing the album so much,
it don't matter. Like the song is still dope.
It turned like now, but now I'm like into the hook too. Like
right.
Yeah, like he talking his talk.
Because the rest of the song is so fire that.
Right.
Yeah, I get it.
And to Savvy's point, Nas hasn't throughout his career, he hasn't been really braggadocious. He hasn't always been saying like, yo, I'm the best. Like, right. and here's why. So when he does that, it brings him to another level for me.
Yeah. And he's done it more on this album than I think I've ever heard him do before, as far as calling himself the GOAT.
That's why I love it.
Yeah. Ron?
I like that talk.
Yeah, it's easy to talk like that when you think other people's retired. But, you know, I mean, you know, it's cool. It's cool. Now, I'm going to say I'm going to give it an 8. I don't love the hook either. But I will say this, that in my mind, it won't be addressed here, but that could change, because if I listen to it more, I may be just like you, Tony. The more and more I hear it, the whole song's going to grow on me. Then I'm like, yo, this is a banger. Like, it's just, it can happen that way. That happens in music. But right now, I'm going to give it an 8. And I wanted to give it a 9, but I was like, that's not fair for me to do that. I wanted to give it a 9 just because of how braggadocious Nas was. Right, I was like, yeah, I like this. I like the fact that he was doing that. But I'm gonna stay with an 8. I'm gonna stay with an 8. But I like what he was spitting, and I like how his flow changed. I definitely like that.
Yeah, and I'm at a 9. Like the hook, when I first heard the song, the reason why it was kind of, you know, it was low for me within the mix of these songs is because of the hook. But I grew to really, really like the hook. I still feel like it's a little bit, you know, I don't want to say quirky, but some things I would have liked to maybe hear better. But I like the hook, and I like what he's saying in the hook. So it's a 9 for me. I didn't really see what the chat gave it, you know, to add the chat score in here. And Savvy, I'll ask you a question. Can you, while, you know, we're talking about these, just monitor the chat, you know, and kind of come up to a consensus of what their score is, and then you can give me that when we're at the end. But right now, it looks like we're at 45.5 divided by 5. That's like a 9.1 score for that.
I'm seeing a lot of 10s. I see a 10.5.
Well, that's a 10. That's a 10. That's a 10.
9.9. MH gave it an 8.5. You know what I'm saying? You know
what's funny about that?
We don't respect fake jewelry and silly outfits. So I'm sorry.
So basically, that's about a 9. So, you know, it's looking like we're at like a 9.1 with the score for that right here. So I'm gonna throw that score in there, 9.1. All right.
Hey, and you know what's funny about that hook? It gives me a J. Cole vibe. And
yes. That's why I didn't like it.
And
yes,
I don't know why that just popped up on me. Like it reminded me of one of the singles that J. Cole had. But I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah. So you can see right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're at 9.1. All right, for Meet Joe Black, we got a 9.1. We got Speechless is 10. Meet Joe Black is 9.1. All right, we are going to now jump into the next track, which is Ugly.
It's about to get ugly.
It's about to get ugly. Right. This is, I mean, I don't know what Ron's talking about. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't know what Ron's talking about, but I love this joint right here. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, Ugly.
Test, test. Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. It's ugly outside, it's muggy, it's money outside. 105 Fahrenheit, thunderous skies. The cloud shape a clown face above where you reside. Under his eye, teardrop got the ugliest cry. They call my city Gotham City, opposite of pretty. Weatherman cannot predict bullets raining from out the 50. It's ugly outside, Big L would be here if it wasn't. Hella freeze over the day it doesn't get ugly out. How could we hug it out after we slugged it out? We should be buying acres, adjusting each other's crowns. That was your brother back then, how could you gun him down? Yeah, yeah, this is what I live for. The inventor, the reinvention. I'm reincarnated, see what it hit for, yo. Even your mentor could get you sent for. Get you chipped off if it's a brick off. You hit a brick wall, damn big dog.
All right there, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to stop it right there. That right there was Ugly by Nas. And let me tell you something. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, for me, this is a quintessential Nas song. Tony, I'm going to go ahead and start with you.
10. Yo, like, you know, it's so many quotables on this record right here that like me and my friends already like see each other. Yo, it's ugly outside. You know what I mean? Like we already quoting lines from it on some everyday talk, and Nas went in. The beat is fire. And Jarrell, you made a great point, man, because I really feel like Hit Boy exceeded himself on this project. Right. And I didn't really think about it until you said it. And so yeah, I want to give him some love too, because the beats on here is probably why this is one of my favorite albums. Like I think it's like when you listen to Illmatic and then you just look at the timeline of where he went from all his albums, and this is his most recent. How many years later? Yeah,
sounds like full circle, right?
It's incredible. Right. Word.
Full circle.
So Tony, you give it a 10. Savvy, where you at with it, man?
Man, for this one, well, the chat seems to say it's a 10. I saw 1.7. There's an 8.5. See a lot of 9.5.
There's a couple of 8.5s, 9.5s there.
You know what I mean? This beat right here, it's probably doing the least, but less is more in a certain way, because he's really setting a scene. He's making the commentary. You know, he's talking about something that's been going on in the community. You know what I'm saying? I actually, speaking of quotables, Tone, I quoted this line when we did the stoop last night. You know, it's grown men jealous outside, when we was talking about rappers getting targeted, you know, by hungry people in the streets that's just looking to catch a lick. And so for the beat, I'm gonna give it a 9. I'm gonna give it an 8.5, a 9 for the beat. For Nas's raps, I'm gonna give it a 10. So I want to say my score is a 9. I want to say my score for this one is a 9. I might have been spoiled by the first 2 tracks on here, but when I hear those fresh flows, those aggressive deliveries, and I transition into this one, I'm like, you know, it's a good change of pace, but there's nothing like an angry, hard rapping Nas to me.
Yeah. Okay.
You feel me? So
right.
So you giving it a 9?
I'm giving it a 9. And I don't even have any real complaints about it. It's just it doesn't stand up as hard as the first 2 I heard, and those are my 10s.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
So I have to give it a 9.
So if you can monitor the chat, I know that, you know, I've seen some 10s, 8.5s, 8.5s. Just kind of come with a good consensus of what that score is. Jarrell,
I'm gonna give it a 9. I'm like I said, I'm only judging by beat and song structure and stuff because I think, just like Savvy said, Nas is a 10 on all of these. So it's hard for me to even judge him lyrically anymore. like I said, he's Nas, but yeah, Ugly is a 9 for me. I like Speechless better. I like Meet Joe Black better too, but they kind of like neck to neck to me. So I'll give it a 9 since I gave Meet Joe Black an 8.5.
Okay. All right.
The
Ron?
lowest score I've seen. My fault.
Yeah, Ron?
I'm gonna give it a 9 because the only thing it's missing for me, and that's just my ears, what I really like to hear with the beat. I really like to hear a little bit more of a bass bump in the beat. If this had a bass bump in the beat, this would be a 10 for me, easy. Like that, I just like where it was coming in. I felt like something else needed to come in. I know that's, purists who likes these type of, like maybe Sim likes it like that because he makes beats. So I needed something else. I need a little bit more boom to come in, and that would have been like,
it was just a loop.
This is fire. But as far as flow and what he was saying, he definitely said the hottest stuff on this joint. So,
yeah.
But
for me, I actually enjoy the beat. I like the style of beat that it is. You know what I'm saying? And I love his flow and everything. It's a 10 for me. This was when we listened to it. This actually became my first favorite song when we initially listened to it. This was my first favorite. You know what I mean? And it's still up there with it's still up there with Speechless for me with this joint. I really, really like this song. The beat, his flow, what he's saying in the song also means a lot for me. So I'm giving it a 10. Savvy, what's it look like with the chat?
The chat looks like they mostly giving the 10s. The lowest score is a 7. That's gonna drop the average down. I wanna say it's about a 9, 8.5 from the chat.
8.5.
I see some 8.5s in there. I see a lot of 10s in there.
So it's probably
a lot of people.
Yeah, probably about a 9 then, right?
Yeah.
All right, so
I feel like a 9 would be a good score.
And just so you know, Lyrical Maniac said Ron like that R&B. That's all I listen to, man. I love R&B.
What's wrong with that?
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with that.
As do I.
Right. So right now we are at, the score for Ugly was at 9.3. We're now into the next track, 4016 Building. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get this one going, and then be ready to score. And chat, do me a favor, if you can do this, chat. Just when you put your score in the chat, put the name of the song next to it. That way, we don't get it mixed up with anything else. All right. So the next joint we're getting into, 4016 Building. Let's go ahead and let's get into it.
That 70s Hebron pressed on. Teflon. I got so many kids in the game, it's like a gender revealing. I got that feeling like a Richie dancing on the ceiling. Hope it resemble a Van Gogh when you paint me the villain. The hate is real, but you should note that the love is way realer. Crafty with a pen, way before I could pack them in. Nasty with dreads, a slim teen, young I was passionate. A brand new book crackling sound when you open and writing gems. I make gospel in the booth, it might sound like I'm writing hymns. Put designer with the Timbs, wow. They wanna run with my style, 4016 Building, busting them down. And the fiends was like employees bringing customers round. Hurricane warnings, niggas had dreams of flooding the town. Weather report looking rainy, but I skate through it daily. And a new gray Mercedes, waterproof Jordan ladies. I'm sizzling, scorching, handsomely how they gotta pay me. Every recording off the head, I'm in the studio lately.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, right there, ladies and gentlemen, that is 4016 Building. Of course, that's Nas and Hit Boy. Tony?
This was my favorite song off the first listen. I'm still giving it a 10. Yo,
Shorty gonna give all these his score gonna be 90. You know that, right? It's all good, though.
I can't. It's too many things. Like the hook, the I'm in the studio lately. No, this is the song he references. This is just a teaser for KD3. I mean, like when he said that, where Sim was like, oh, you know what I mean? Like we was listening to it live. Like I mean, together. So I mean, yeah, it was a moment. This record, and yep, it's a 10.
Savvy?
Even recording off the head. I'm in the studio lately. Hey, listen, man. Like I said, I love it when Nas has fun. This is another beat. It's like Barry Bonds just. That was left-handed, so it's more like Ken Griffey knocking it out the park right there. You know what I'm saying? But man, oh man, back to the hard raps. This is a good merge of what the first two give you and what you got on Ugly. There's a concept that he has going. He's giving you good imagery, and there's a hard beat. 10.
All right, 10. We got dog. All right, we got 10 from Tony. Dog. We got 10 from Savvy. Jarrell.
Let me go with 8.5 again. I'm not the biggest fan. This is like out of all the beats that Hit Boy had on this one, I think this is my least favorite for some reason. I don't exactly know why. Well, all of them are good though. This is just my least favorite because I think every song on here is good. But this is just my least favorite, maybe because he didn't really do much to it but the loop. Or the sample, I should say. But, you know, it's not a bad song. It's still a dope song. 8.5.
Yeah. Ron.
I'm going to give this a 9. I like the song. I like the beat. It's the beat type that I'm looking for. Just in comparison to way Nas was flowing off those last 3 songs, I just, I'm gonna give it a 9 because I like it, but I just like I can't say, oh man, like this is it. And that's how when I listen to every song, I'm like, is this it?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna say this is a 9.
Yeah, and for me, I'm kind of the same way. I'm with Jarrell and I'm with Ron. It's a 9 for me. Basically, I feel like I heard this song before.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not saying that I actually did hear this song from Nas or whatever. It's just like a song that I feel like, okay, I heard this from a bunch of rappers before.
Right.
You know what I mean? The beat too. You know, it's like I heard this before. You know what I mean? It's a dope joint. It's not just stand out to me. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at. I'm at a 9 with this one here. Yeah.
I think Savvy hit the nail on the head. It sounds like he just having fun. It kind of gives you the vibe of like not necessarily a cipher, but like when you go to the studio and the whole crew is in the studio with you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I could see a video being made and they just in the studio, like, you know what I mean? Like just vibing
right
on some playful stuff. But it's a moment.
Savvy, what's the chat say?
The chat is giving us a lot of 9s. We have a few 10s in there. We got some 9.5 in there. We have mainly 9.5 and 10. Leon Taylor gave it 11. We got fire emojis abound. So it's looking like it's a high 9. And they want you to slump because you get love. And that's some man. Okay. This is the type of song that I feel like he went in there. He didn't write nothing. He just heard the beat. He's like, all right, I'm going in, and just laid it, and just had exactly what he wanted to talk about when he heard the beat. So
yeah, and so, so looks like we're at about a 9.3 with this as well. From I got from what Savvy just gave me, I got about a 9.25. So it looks like we're at about 9.3. All right, so looking at the score right now, got a 10 for Speechless, 9.1 for Meet Joe Black. Ugly is a 9.3. 4016 Building, it's a 9.3. And now we're at Hollywood Gangsta. All right, we're at Hollywood Gangsta. So let's go ahead and get into Hollywood Gangsta, ladies and gentlemen.
Shout my young New York niggas out there on that drill shit. Yeah. Hey, yo. Yo, let me try this shit out right here. The scars of martyrs, the path of bastard seeds, effects of absentee fathers passed on with ease. Hope the babies eat healthier, and may we get wealthier. Take what's not given, we ask for forgiveness, not permission. Whole clique is each other counselor. Holding sticks without a hockey puck. Can't co-sign them niggas not with us. Hop on a private jet with 12 tenants. Right when I land, the chopper to Manhattan is 12 minutes. I put the real in real nigga, that's on my mama though. Homie, you gotta feel me from Cali out to the Cali. I'm slicker than Desi Arnaz on my Copacabana flow. In Houston with a thick one, eating and popping those. Shit, it was written, chopping up competition. Palms itching, Bohemian Grove couldn't get Nas to visit. I seen both ends of the ladder, ain't seen no silver platter. Fiction don't even matter, we don't act for the cameras. Guess the use of the ego, having head in the air. Hollywood gangster, goons with them everywhere. I'm the opposite, smooth, not spreading fear. Silver spoons never fed, and I say I'm on top, and I surprise them. I'm on top, and I surprise them.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's Hollywood Gangsta right there by Nas. And for me, you know, well, I'll let you guys go first, and then I'll go ahead and get into mine. Go ahead, Tony.
This is my least favorite track on the album. I don't skip it. I and actually the more I listen to it, the more I like it. It's kind of like vintage Nas, like B-side track. I'm gonna give it a 9. And you know, like Ron said when he said
critical, huh?
yeah. Yep. This is my least favorite track, and it's
Gave
a
it a
9.
9 on the least favorite. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I know where I'm headed.
Yeah.
All right. Savvy?
Man, oh, that's hilarious. Oh man, you know, this song is really interesting to me, right? I love the beat. I like the horns. I like the drums on here. I feel like the drummers really smack on this beat. And when you think back to KD2, you think of the song Nobody, right? He's got the money to go where he wants to go, to escape, find somewhere where he wants to be nobody. To me, this song is the perfect mirror flip image to Nobody. I could hop out, pull up in my city. It's 12 minutes to Manhattan as soon as I land in the airport by the chopper, okay? And I'm on top and I surprise them. I turn to a whore that I don't need more baggage. Bro, this is King's Disease-esque right here. This made me feel like a song that could have been on KD1, right? And probably just wasn't chosen, although it sounds fresh and new. And it's just fresh. He's talking come up. He's talking never had a silver spoon. Hit Boy did his thing. He put his foot in that beat. And you know what's interesting about this song, even though like I describe it the way I did, I feel like it would be a great song, like a rapper like Earl Sweatshirt. I feel like would they kill the beat like this? You know what I'm saying? And actually, Earl Sweatshirt is someone that I would love for Nas to do a track with at some point before he stops rapping, because of not only the styles that they would both bring to a beat like this or any other beat, but also because, fun fact, when Earl was dropping his first album with when he was just coming out of Odd Future, people said that he was as good as he was at 16 as Nas was at 16.
Okay.
which
Right.
to me sounded like a weird way to describe someone's skill set. But I was like, he's good. The kid is very good. Stylistically very different, but they both can rap, both can go into concept, and both have something that they bring fresh whenever they rap. And so I want to give this one, and it's my favorite song to drive to. I don't know if I said that already, but it's my favorite driving music.
It's definitely a cruise.
I love driving around. I love when the song cuts on when I'm in my car riding around to the album. And you know me, a song that slaps in my whip, I'm a sucker for. 10.
10. Okay. All right. Jarrell?
I'm actually giving this a 10 too. I love this song, and to Savvy's point, it's probably my favorite one to drive to also. Like, it's definitely a driving song. And to Tony's point, I think I love it because it sounds like a B-side. It does sound like a B-side. It doesn't sound like a single or anything that should be on the radio. I actually love that. So I'll give it a 10. Hit Boy did his thing on there. I like the drums more than I like them on 4016 Building. That's why I gave it a 10 over that. And it's my favorite song since Speechless, since track 1.
Okay. All right.
Hey, can I add something? I think Savvy made a great point in that mirror image of Nobody, and it also is. I mean, I listen to the album mostly in the car anyway, so that might be a reason why I don't skip it, because it does. It's very comfortable. You know what I mean?
Right.
When it comes on, and it's a change of pace also, from the last record and the last couple of records on the album. So I think I want to change my score to a 9.5.
We done talked Tony into a 0.5. That's crazy.
All right, Ron.
Well,
No pressure.
No, right?
no, don't worry. When you see my score, no, look, so because it does give me B-side vibes, and the way the song actually just was, the way it came together for me, the way I listened to it, it would be a 7, right? But I like the way Nas is flowing on it, and for whatever reason, whatever he's saying, just it feels good to me. So that bumps it up to an 8 for me. And to all three, Jarrell, Savvy, and Tony's points, this is something I've always been envious of, because I'm in New York City and I don't drive. So like I used to watch a lot of Joe Budden, and the thing about Joe Budden, I think he does really good music reviews. And a lot of the music he listens to in the car or in his, house with big booming speakers, so you get that studio type sound. And I feel like that does a disservice to me sometimes when I want to hear something. I can't hear it the way I should be able to hear it. So if I was in a car, I think I'd like this song even, like it makes me, I see what y'all saying. Right. But since I don't drive, it's an 8 for me.
Okay.
Yo, I had this on with the windows down and the heat up.
Yo, it's that kind of song, bro. You want to pull up to it.
The drum swing that you can drive to this song. You're supposed to.
Yeah, listen, it's definitely a cruising joint. That's without a doubt. I love the West Coast feel, kind of West Coast feel to the track. I feel like you remember what's the joint? Death Row East on King's Disease 2. Right? Hit Boy said that he was trying to make a beat that sounded kind of Tupac-ish, right? For Nas to do that Death Row East joint. And if you listen to Death Row East, it kind of has that Tupac-ish, sounds like Tupac, something he would rap on. I feel like this was maybe a track that he made, and they said, this don't really fit Death Row East, but let's do something else to it. You know what I'm saying? Because it has that Cali, feel, I think, to it. You know what I'm saying? So I love it. I love Nas's flow. I feel like the flow is kind of like a, remember the song Star Wars? right? I feel like it's that kind of flow over it, man. So I think it's really dope. It's not quite up there with Speechless and Ugly for me, so I'm at a 9.5 with it. You know, it's like just below those two for me.
And you know what? I was thinking about this. The only thing that I'm not crazy about on this song is the hook. I love the verses.
Mm-hmm.
I love the mindset that puts you in. I love pulling up to this song. I'm not crazy about the hook, but I love everything else. I might have to give this a 9.7.
Yeah, I think you need to drop that down.
You know what I'm saying? Because I like all the elements. I like all the elements of the 10 songs. This has an element that I'm not crazy about, although I enjoy listening to it. The listening experience is beautiful, and like you said, like it's a very Cali vibes for what Hit Boy made for this album. You know, who's from California, Earl Sweatshirt. I would love to hear a Hollywood Gangsta remix. All right,
that would be fire.
And that would be hard. That would be hard. If you just give Earl a quick little 8 bars to do it at the end of the video or something like that, that'd be me.
All right.
Nines on anything.
Savvy.
And you know what, Sim? When you brought up the whole Cali feel of it, like that, like I said, it gives me that B-side feel. It does give me that Cali vibe, and it reminds me of a song. But that song is, to me, even though it sounds like a B-side, it's fire. Like Tupac's "To Live and Die in L.A." Like I love that song. But that definitely gives me B-side vibes. But that song is fire.
It reminds me of something like that. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So Savvy, what's it look like the chat's giving it?
The chat, this song got more H's than I saw for the last ones. We have everything from an 8 flat to a 10. We have a few 9s in there. Chat score, I want to put it at around a 9.2. I give it a 9.
Yeah, I think it might be lower, man.
I think it's lower
I think
because
it's
I
like
see
8.5. I think it's around like that.
I see a 10. I see 5 plus 5 equals 10. I see a 10, 10, 8, 10, 9, 8 and a half.
Math in there.
I see 10 10s from. I see like 5 10s from the same person. Those don't count.
Yeah, I think it's.
Oh yeah. No. He only gets 110. Franklin Wilson 9.5. Kevon Bergen 8. Goose Jr. 10. MH solid 8. Ralph on Real 9.
Yeah, I mean
Public Enemy 8.
About an 8.5. Yeah, we say about an 8.5. So 55 divided by, so we're at about a 9.2 for the song altogether.
I see somebody rated Jarrell's posters a 10. All right, poster game strong in the background.
Thank you.
Mad Villain bandana.
Yeah.
Bandana shout out, salute.
And I also want to give a shout out to Trey 9 Mo. He said, I think you can play the songs longer too because people reacting to the song and Hit Boy and Nas post them, shouldn't be no copyright strikes. I've been through it before, and
we can't take no chances.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, the thing is, they're gonna do a copyright strike anyway, and then I'm gonna have to write some up to say, hey, this is what we were doing, and it should be fine. The video shouldn't be taken down. But if I play the entire song, then they're gonna say, well, this is just a way for people to listen to it without going to such and such and such. So, we definitely got to cut it short. But I appreciate the support, though, bro.
That's the crazy thing about the legalities of these platforms is that the artists themselves could be rocking with you and think it's great. Go ahead, use it. The platform is gonna be like, nah, strike.
Right.
You only can get away with that on Twitch.
Yeah, because the label ain't trying to hear that.
You don't get away with it on Twitch.
Exactly.
The label.
I don't care what we like.
Right.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to my guy Leroy Reese in the chat. That's my guy.
Shout out, Leroy. Peace, brother. Thanks for joining us. Next joint, Woo for the Children.
I don't work this hard to be around people I don't like. Yeah. Gotta be a special type nigga to deal with my life. Gotta be a special type nigga to feel what I write. Special like my classics, special like my listeners who have attachments to my old style, won't let me pass it. I don't see the point with weak sayings like all them niggas on top be blocking. Or never help, man, stop it. It's hard watching brothers who smart but think they not. I need them to realize what they got is a fresh start. That brother that you claim so powerful, the one you said he has a whole lot of pull, probably already tried to pull his brothers up and got betrayed, got snaked, got played. Meanwhile he balances challenges, hard to keep himself paid. It's so hard for him, even though his talent is God-given part in him. Stop putting your faults on him. What he did to you now, the man in him is bringing the kid in you out. You kidding me, still playing the victim, you weirding me out. That's what my perspective is, maybe cause I'm a specialist. Sick of mixed liquor beverages, 6-figure checks are big, but 8-figure checks and you rich. The Nas enthusiasts thinking they know what's best for me, more than I know what's best for me, no rest for me. Gotta be a special type nigga to deal with my life. Gotta be a special type nigga to...
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that right there is Woo for the Children. All right, Tony.
10. Yeah, this one's real high on my list. So, yeah, he says some stuff there, man, and it's more relatable to me. Like some of the things that he's preaching, like I've either preached it to some people, and some of the things he said was told to me like at a young age. So it was like a real relatable song. It kind of just put me in a reminiscent type feel, you know what I mean? Like, and he's really telling people like stop blaming people and get up and get yours, you know what I mean?
Okay, all right.
I like it.
Savvy.
Am I muted? No. Okay. Well, this beat and the beat before it, I want to say these are both beats that I feel like that kind of make me want to hear him rap over something produced by Tyler, the Creator. It would be very fascinating to see what kind of slaps Tyler would make for a Nas song, a Nas album, because a lot of these flangy beats, a lot of the horns I'm hearing, a lot of the sounds that I hear from this one and the Hollywood Gangsta beat, like that screams like this Odd Future vibe to me that we used to get back on the old cuts. I love the topic of this song. I love the subject matter, and I've run into this issue as well from this standpoint, like, you know, and like me and the homies talk about this sometimes, like when you're dedicated to what you do and you're trying to do this hip hop thing, you know, it takes a very special cast of people around you to support you. Your social life is not the typical life. You're not walking a typical path. You need to be allowed to go out and stay out late at night at social events, socializing with all kinds of random dudes and beautiful women and all kinds of people, and your partner gotta be okay with that. You know, otherwise you cross some wires and it's not gonna work. It takes a special type of person to deal with your life. And that can be applied liberally to a lot of people's walks of life, whether you're in entertainment or not. You know, some people have jobs that take them away from what's traditionally demanded of them as partners. Yeah. And so I resonated with that subject matter. I love the beat, and that I don't work this hard to be around people I don't like. That's the most quoted line from this album I've seen all over social media. Everybody who listens to this album has said that to me in the past 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that they knocked it out the park with this one.
All right. What's the score?
A number score for this one is tough. because the beat is not as tough as the other beats I've heard on the album. But for what it is, it's such a unique, different beat from what we've heard so far on the album. I want to give this one either a 9 flat or an 8.7. You know what I'm saying?
Go with the 9. Go with the 9.
8.7.
You know what I'm saying?
Which one is it? What you giving it? Which
You
one
don't
is
want to
it?
give him the 8.
This is because I feel like an 8 is too low. I can't take away 2 whole points from this.
Yes, you
After
can.
everything I just said,
If that's what you feel, then that's what you give away.
Come on,
Yes, you
come on,
can,
Savvy.
man. There's no
the
rules.
subject matter.
You can go
Nas ain't gonna hate you,
8.75
brother.
if that makes you feel better.
If that's what you want, give him. You gotta give it.
The best thing about this song is the subject matter.
All right. Well,
wanna say-
so what are you giving it?
I'm giving it an 8.5, just off of like. It makes me sad to hear this song sometimes too, and I don't like being sad. You know?
Oh man, you don't gotta feel bad for it. You don't gotta feel bad for it.
No, but like when you get to the second verse, the stuff that he's talking about, like if I did that song with so and so and just the what ifs and like, you know.
I get it. Jarrell.
Savvy, you're not gonna let Nas down, bro. Like, chill out, man. Like, it's all good, man.
Man, Savvy's conflicted.
I'm gonna actually give this song an 8. It's my least favorite song on the album, to be honest. I don't, Nas is so good. He would trick you into thinking all these songs is 10s, man. All these songs are not 10s. It's just that he is so nasty that I don't want to say it doesn't matter what he raps on, because it obviously does. But he is just such a good rapper that he could take a not a mediocre beat, but a beat that's average and make it a 10.
Yeah.
So I can't give him a 10 because of that. So since it is my least favorite song on the album, I'm going to give him an 8 because I gave the other ones an 8.5.
Okay. All right. Ron.
So I want to give my score and also address a question from the chat because he asked my opinion about something. So for the track itself, I would say for me it's an 8.5. It would be higher, and this goes back to the same thing because I really like the beat. I mean, well, the track itself. Goes back to that whole thing, me missing a beat, like
drums,
some of that bass to come into it. This is how I like to hear my music. If some bass came into it at a certain point, this would have been a 9.5, maybe a 9.5. Because the other thing is, even though I know Nas' subject matter, what he's saying is great, but this is that song. This is the smart rapper song to the youth, to the, we get this on albums. And so I like it, but for me, it's an 8.5. And to address Demian Frederick, he said, ask Ron if he still thinks Jay-Z is the GOAT. I'm curious. Yes, I still think Jay-Z is the GOAT.
Yes.
All I need to say is in this order, Renegade.
Renegade.
I didn't mean to say Renegade. I meant to say, I had Renegade on my mind. I meant to say Reasonable Doubt, The Blueprint 1, The Black Album, and American Gangsta. That right there is enough for me to make him the GOAT. Now, what I will tell you, how the whole thing is
KD2
Biggie,
might be
Jay-Z,
better
and
than
Nas.
all of them joints. I ain't gonna say nothing.
Illmatic.
I feel like KD2 might be better than all of them. I ain't gonna say nothing though, but go ahead.
Come on.
Illmatic is probably. No, I will say Illmatic is probably better than all of them, but that's a one-hit album. And how many? No, I'm just playing. You know what I'm saying?
How many Ola Ovitos is on King's Disease 2?
All right. there ain't that many. No, you're right about that. Okay. Listen, and that's one song on that, it is what it is. Just like the one with the Annie hook and beat. I don't love that one either. But Don't take away from the classic album. So
I mean, it
I
does
will
take
say I
away from
still
a classic album to me, but I get it. Nah, I get it.
Nah, man. I will tell you this though. I do think the pecking order has changed, just because of the body of work. You just gotta, no matter how much I love Biggie, you gotta drop Biggie down. So to me, it's now Jay-Z, Nas, and Biggie.
Okay, so what was your score for this?
8.5.
8.5. My score is an 8.52 for this track here. I like the track. There's no doubt about it. And I'm actually going to come at Nas a little bit on it. I didn't think his flow was as sharp on this as some of the other joints we've already heard or that we're going to hear.
I agree.
I felt like I could hear a lot of punching in on this track. I mean, he got into one point where he really did like kind of lay into it. But when I compare this to like Stay, because I kind of put these two in the same category. When I compare this to Stay, his flow was so much sharper on Stay than on this. You know what I mean? So I feel like, you know, the flow just wasn't as sharp as I like to hear Nas. You know what I mean? You know,
The chat likes this song more than the panel likes this song. We got 9.5, 10, 9.5, 9.5, 10, 9.5, 8.5, 9.5, 8.5, 8. You know, I've been typing in scores. I'm gonna hit that enter button and drop that into the chat right there. It's about a 9.5 average by the chat. So
he says about a 9.5 by the chat. So that gives it about an 8.8 average. That's what it is. That's what that is. About 8.8. Right, so right.
Gerard, we could have used that 0.5.
My bad.
So looking at it, you know, looking at the score so far, Speechless has a 10, Meet Joe Black 9.1, Ugly 9.3, 4016 9.3, Hollywood Gangsters a 9.2, and Woo for the Children is an 8.8. I mean, listen, 8.8 though is still a very high score. It's just the lowest on this particular album. You know what I mean? So far. All right, the next track is Wave Gods featuring A$AP Rocky and DJ Premier. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this one.
Hold up and analyze. Come on, get on, get some. Listen close as I prove my point. We do our thing, son. Hold up and analyze. Come on, get some. Listen close as I prove my point. Ready to make an entrance, so crack on it.
No comparison, we more solid than they are. Me and Hit Boy, they say we like the new Gangsta. Me and Flacco, they say we the new Wave Guards. Shout to Max B, he could be home any day, God.
Wake up out the bed, scruffy sparking my J. Shine my nickel plated, then I'm starting my day. My old lady called me baby, told apart in my age. 12 shells in the gauge, like a carton of eggs. We on home like every carbon chromosomes on my conscience. Here's some niggas talking nonsense, call them nasty Nostradamus. Rock the pearls and diamonds, break your promise, break a wildest, break a heart and break a pocket. Taking notes like guidance counselor. Aristocrats like the chancellor, the answer to the panhandlers. The corners with the mans is up, the jig is up, the scams is up. Yeah, they hands is up, looking in the crowd, yeah.
All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to fast forward a little bit. We get the Nas, and then, we do what we do.
Think about the bed, wrap my do-rag up. Say a prayer, I'm thanking God that Mom Dukes had us. Monotone style like Guru on Supremo cuts. Crew neck by McQueen go nuts. Jewels over my white hoodie like Juvie and 9-8. It's movies that I make, Peruvian white flake. It taught the community at a high rate. Adversity I face, I roll my own gas to make sure that it's not laced. Damn, I used to hit the block hoping they see me. Watching video music box, sitting close to the TV. I was inspired by Houdini and Cool G. Got my first pair of J's, thought I was 2-3. Invest in all my G's before we rest in peace, cause we short of recipes. My shorty is a piece of mine, a dime piece. I might buy you a piece of property. You might have had some joints, but ain't nothing like me and Rocky seen. No comparison, we more.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, right there, that's Wave Gods. And I'll start with you, Tony, before I get mine. Go ahead.
So hopefully I'm not cutting into what you was gonna say, because off the initial reaction, you was like, oh, you wanted you wish ASAP was a little bit shorter in his verse. And I agreed, but the more I listened to it, yo, ASAP went off. ASAP went off.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, how did I miss this the first time? You know what I mean? Like, so shout outs to ASAP. You could tell he was inspired to be on this record. Actually, I like the vibe to this song. I'm gonna give it a 9.8. I didn't think they would be a nice collab, but I love the energy, and then the beat itself gave you the Primo feel before Primo jumped in and did his mix.
Right.
So it was like a great collaboration between all four of them.
Yeah, I think just going back to what I said on the initial listen, I think it was just me because it was a Nas album. I wanted to hear Nas. I was like, yo, this joint is going kind of long. I want to hear Nas right now. You know what I'm saying? I think it was that because, you know, as I got into the song, I was like, oh, yeah, I guess it wasn't that long. You know what I mean? It just felt like it at the moment because I wanted to hear Nas. But nah, ASAP did his thing for real. He did his thing.
He did.
Yeah. So what do you give it, Tony? You said
9.8.
9.8? Savvy?
Yeah, man. Yeah, ASAP slid. They definitely know how to choose their features. There's been a couple features on the past albums that I didn't really rock with, but I like ASAP on this song because ASAP can actually really, really rap when he applies himself. That's one thing that people have started to forget. I love the scratches and the samples and the element that DJ Premier brought to this track. You know, he has that Rakim vocal. I mean that Raekwon, my bad, vocal sample popping off in the background, and he's just talking about, you know, we the new Gangstar. You know, comparing himself to Guru, you know, shouting people out. I'm pretty sure that's a Juvenile reference in that verse. That he did the Juvie in 9/8. Man, this one is hot, and I like the hook on this one. I think this is probably my favorite hook that Nas did on the album. No comparison, we more solid than they are with the new Wave Gods. I want to give this one. I give this one a 9.5.
Okay.
9.5.
All right.
I love what Primo brought to it.
All right. Jarrell?
This is my favorite song on the album, and I've played it the most, so I'm gonna give it a 10. I think it's the best hook on the album, just like Savvy said, because this is the one song that might sound like a single, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like it can be on the radio. I think Rocky floated on it. Preem was Preem. Nas was Nas. So I think it's like this should have been the single if it was going to have a single. That's why I think this is, to me, like I played this the most out of everything on here.
Yeah. Okay. So you giving this a 10?
10.
10. Ron?
Well, you know, I told you Speechless is my favorite song on the album, and I gave that a 10. This, while being almost like a polar opposite of Speechless, gives me that same feeling of what I like. It gives me the boom bap, it gives me the Primo, it gives me ASAP sliding on it, it gives me Nas sliding on. This is a 10 for me. This is what I like to hear. So
Yeah. And for me, this is definitely what I like to hear. There's no doubt about it. You know, it's what I'm into. I love the boom bap style, and I like the way it feels like by using Hit Boy beat, and just some updated sounds that you hear, and then having, DJ Premier do his thing on it, it's like an updated boom bap style. You know what I mean? And I feel like on the beat, I told Tony this. I felt like Hit Boy studied Nas's life. Right? Just when I hear the drums, when I hear the percussion, right? It sounds like a Nas like, and then when you go back and you listen to 4016, you hear the Nas sample that's from Nas's life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like he maybe studied it, and so yeah, we're gonna do something like this, and then he got Premier, to do what he did. So definitely, I love this track. This is a 10 for me. You know what I mean? And I do feel like if there was gonna be a single, this would have been the single.
Yeah, it's the only feature on the album. So
Yeah, you want to hear something funny, Sim? As soon as I heard the beat, you know what I thought of? Nothing But Nicks. I was like, this is a Nothing But Nicks intro. I'm telling you.
Nah, you can't do that.
I'm saying, but this is what it gives me that vibe. Sim no.
Hey man, Evergreen will shout out to Evergreen. He would love that.
Yeah. No doubt. All right, and Savvy, what's it look like the chat? What's the chat talking about?
The chat looking like they want to give it a 10. I see a lot of 10s. I see a lot of 9.5s. There's a couple of 9 flats in there. I see 1 8. Kai Vase gave it an 8. This one dude gave it a 6. King KO gave it a 6.
I seen that.
Ooh, Lord, that's
6.
That's kind of rough, buddy.
Oh.
That's kind of rough. I don't even know if he like Nas.
I would think that he might be like a,
whole venture.
Trolling, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Trying to
I
drop
gave
the
it a
average.
6 just for the way that ASAP Rocky was flowing, not even thinking about the beat and then Nas's part.
right. Like ASAP should have got more than 5 himself.
Right.
But you know what?
Facts.
Before you say that, Savvy, I actually want to go back to Tony. Where are we getting the 9.8 from, bro?
The only reason I didn't give a second verse.
Oh, a second.
Yeah, I wanted more Nas. I wanted longer Nas verse.
That's the only reason.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So what are we looking at with the chat?
The chat, I'm about to hit that enter button. We got a 10, we got 9.5, 10, 9, 10, 9.5, 9.5, 9, 9, 10, 10, 9, 10, 8.5, 6, 10. So that comes out to what?
It sounds like a 9.5 to me.
About a 9.
Around that.
Sound like
You know what I'm saying? If we're going by the median, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that sounds like.
This song would have came out in the summertime, man. This song is crazy.
Wow,
This song is fire.
yeah, for real. So that
If
gives
this
it a
song would have came in the
9.
summertime, it would have been a completely different vibe of the
Problem.
album. Like,
Yeah. That gives it a 9.8. That's the highest score on the album. Oh no. Speechless got a 10. Speechless got a 10. Right. But still, that's look, my daughter listened to it, and the first thing she texted me, she said, "Oh, that Wave Gods is tough. Wave Gods is tough." You know what I mean? So, like the whole thing that they're doing with always having a younger artist or a more popular artist on the track with them, it's working, right? Because it's, young people are like, oh, don't throwing Nas into their playlist.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Because of it. It's working. It's working. All right, the next track, The Truth. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and let's get into it.
Can't bury you with your money. Can't bury you with your bitch. All alone, die alone. Yeah. Burn the whole place down. No more foul plays. Housing mentality, shoot 'em down days. Going out of town with a couple of pound place. Always the one you call your friend, but then it's style chase. Hard time for non-violent crimes, that's an outrage. We need a meeting, money and fame is fleeting. You never really know the reason why two people is beefing. Bloody murder. In the 80s, he had suede Louis seats in the bourbon. Did dirty, his sentence started turning. Look at life. Took advice from the streets of burning, nothing nice. John Boy Ice, his death undetermined. Pick a Allen anywhere for your happy soul of returning. When I'm gone, I pray my family don't get the cash and burn it to the floor. Black Force laced up, Galactica glaciers, 88 carats, immaculate pay stubs. Them niggas do a crime, I drop a rhyme, it's the same rush. And they been sending shots a nigga way, but they ain't struck. Can't fuck with me. I've been outside since $1.50 was the only way to get your face done. Doggy style CD, turn that murder was the case up. Thinking when I drop my first shit, I'm leaving they face scrunch. Black from the dark side of Vernon, draws from the dime block. They had it clicking, but today it's a new slimes out. Instagram trick in the hood, what they crying about? Petty crimes, bitches and money, that's what they lying about. Niggas ain't telling the truth enough. No. No. Y'all look like the truth to us. Hype off that little dirt you did, that ain't shit to the kid.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, right there, that's the truth. Tony, I'm coming to you, bro.
10. This vintage Nas, man. It brings you right back to the beginning of the album when he just spitting, and the beat is fire. The message is great. You know.
Yeah,
Back
yeah.
up there.
Yeah, no doubt. I really like this song right here. Savvy?
First, I'm gonna leave with my final score, 10. A hard, solid 10. I would give it a 12 if I could. My goodness. This is one of those songs that remind you just how ill Nas' rap voice is. I feel like he has one of the greatest, hardest rap voices of all time, and he wastes no time getting straight to it. I love the aggression on this song. I love that line, hype off that little dirt you did, man. Oh my God, it's just hardness. And this is the beat that I mentioned at the beginning. I was like, there's only one other.
Oh, we lost Savvy. I don't know what happened there, but we lost Savvy.
Jay-Z in the building.
I had to get his bars off.
Yo, what happened to Savvy, man? I don't even know.
He was getting his bars off.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh, here he is. Back in the building.
I don't know how that happened. The song is back up. But anyhow, like I was saying, this is the beat that I was talking about, that Meet Joe Black, the only beat on this album that makes me think that it's my favorite beat, and not Meet Joe Black, is this one. Because like the more I listen to this song, and this is one of the songs that Tony picked out like early on, like I was gonna be one of his favorites. And I feel the same exact way. I feel like this is punching up into my favorite track on the album, favorite beat on the album. The drums slap hard, the melody is hard, the rapping is hard, and the chorus is hard. Perfect 10.
Okay. All right. Jarrell?
Another 10. And this is a 10 for the kind of the opposite reason that I gave Wave Guys a 10. Like, this isn't a single, but this is like an A+ B-side.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to give it a 10. This is one of the ones, like, right after Wave, like, I played these two the most, and the fact that they came back to back is crazy. Like, if you actually listen to Wave Gods and The Truth back to back all the time, like, that's what I've been doing. I've been repeating them just back to back, just them two. Those two are that's the highlight of the album to me, like the last 3 tracks.
Okay. All right.
That's a great point.
All right. Ron.
I just gotta say, I'm gonna have to listen to King Disease 2 again, because Magic is
better.
Yeah, man, Magic is fire. This song, when I said Speechless is my favorite song, this song right here is a very close second. This is a banger, yo. I could listen to this on repeat.
Right.
I love this song. Yeah. This is definitely a 10 for me. So,
okay. And I mean, for all the reasons that you all just said, it's a 10 for me. You know what I mean? I don't even have to, go any more into it. It's just a 10. I like everything about it. The flow, the beat, the hook. Yeah, it's just a tough one.
That second verse, man.
Yeah, for real.
Like
That
Nas is
second verse was tough.
Nas is a cheat code. It's
No
just
doubt
that,
about
you know, the beat is
You know what
fire,
I'm
so I
saying?
give a song a 10. That's why it's hard to. I would give every song a 10 if I'm just judging him. That's what. Let's just say that.
Right.
I can't just judge him. Like,
Right. Yeah.
Yo.
What's the chat talk about, Savvy?
I think the chat agrees with us. I think the chat is gonna give this one a 10. And this song is getting my favorite reaction out of the chat because King KO was in the chat tight that we gave somebody 10s out tonight. Okay, Jay Goose Jr. He said this song Nas snapped like he snapped on Silent Murder, and you know how Silent Murder went for Nas, right? And Jay Boogie, he said that second verse is top 5 in his career. You know what I'm saying?
saying a lot.
And that is saying a lot. Reggie Noble said Hove ain't like that 12 out of 10 comment. Oh man.
Yeah. So it sounds like this track is getting a 10.
Unanimous 10.
Yeah, it sounds like this track is getting a unanimous.
I like what Jarrell pointed out about it because I haven't actually heard the song. I haven't heard the album out of order. Every time I listen to it, I just hit play and let the whole album run through.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't experienced it. I haven't gone and picked out any song to listen to just by itself yet. And that's a great point because it starts off so strong, energetic. It brings you to a more mellow vibe. You start to zone a little bit. You know, if you're driving around, then it brings you back on Hollywood Gangsta. But when you hit that transition from Wave Gods cuts on, and it brings you back up to energy. When it hits that transition from Wave Gods out to the truth, now it's ugly face mode. This is exactly what Ron said. Yo, like this is some B-side A+ track joint. Like this is the type of song you could have a hit on the radio, and this is the street anthem that plays at the same time, where you got the streets burning up with one song and you got the radio burning up with Wave Gods back to back like that. It's just like it's a beautiful pairing.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Last joint on the. Oh, go ahead, Ron.
No, I was just gonna say, and Jay Boogie said Nas is getting better by age. He's going to have a better finishing career than Jay-Z. You know what? I agree. His finishing career is phenomenal. And if he keeps this up, he might get right there to be able to catch Jay-Z, like be neck and neck with him. He might finally get there with him.
I don't know about finally, but you know.
A lot of people have been saying that. I've been seeing a lot of Hov fans. A lot of Jay-Z fans are like waiting for another Jay-Z album just for that reason.
But listen,
I've been seeing a lot.
You already know Jay-Z is listening. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
Jay-Z is listening. He's hearing. He's seeing the comments. All of that. You know what I mean?
I feel like Jay-Z keeps one in the chamber regardless.
So you know he's working, and he knows he's like, yo, I better not do a whole album with Beyonce, Nick.
I
you know
love
what I'm
it.
saying?
I love it.
And you know, I will
I
tell
better
you
come
this
with
too.
something.
I'm gonna say this. Out of all like the rappers that have been doing it for a minute and are reached legendary status and been in the game for a while, I will say Nas is right now by far the best at this point in his career compared to those other rappers. Like you've seen rappers like Rakim or Big Daddy Kane try to come back and give you
Right.
I mean, they're a lot older, but you know what I mean. Like Nas right now is like he's killing it.
Yeah.
It's another rapper that's out there like that though. Black Thought is putting out.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Black Thought is putting out.
Yeah, he's fine.
stuff.
He's fine.
That Last Thought album was
Black Thought is
All of them.
Black
All
Thought
of
is
those
putting out some-
EPs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he putting out.
the whole Streams of Thought. The whole Streams of Thought series is hard. I love that 444 album that Hov got, and I feel like Hov is another rapper that with age he just still finds ways to be fresh and flavorful. I love if he come back with Watch the Throne 2, it's up.
The 444 album. That was when Jace was rhyming like Nas.
See.
Whoa.
See.
Whoa.
Oh, we popping today. I like this. Look at
He's saying Jay heard Life is Good and the light bulb went off. It's a good album though, and then A Written Testimony. He was watching Jay Luck on some of them tracks.
Yo,
bro.
let me tell you, A Written Testimony. Jay was going in. He was cooking.
No,
he was going in. on
Jay's
that
still
joint.
Jay. I'm a fan of both, so I'm not dissing either one. Both of them are nasty. Like,
Yeah.
both of them are two of the best rappers in the
Jay
world.
Hova, the break's over. It's coming.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
you know why
he's
those two share a trait that I love. They both start their verses off very well. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I had Benzes For You Had Braces on a feature song for Drake. All Black Maybach, but I'm not a racist. That's one of my favorite starts to a verse ever.
The crazy thing is the way things are right now, the way it's shaping up. I mean, I'm telling you, they both keep putting out good music. The whole question is gonna really bubble up again. It's no way it's not, because when you look at longevity in the game and artists continuously putting out music that sticks in hip hop, that have the name that they have. I mean, who else is there? You know what I'm saying? So it's like
as an individual rapper, as an artist, I don't know. Dr. Dre is the only guy to me that he still drops albums, and I love it as much as I love like The Chronic. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so I mean, I don't think they would ever get into the type of battle that they did before, but friendly competition, I think it's all fair game.
And it's interesting because Nas is 2 for 2 in terms of albums and Grammy nominations. KD won the Grammy. KD2 has a very good chance of winning the Grammy. If he gets 2 in a row, drop this one, and then drops KD3 in a couple months from now, he could have 2 albums nominated at the same time.
Yeah, that'd be crazy
for a Grammy.
That'd be crazy. I want to get once we finish this up, I want to talk about KD3 and what your expectations are from it and stuff like that. But let's get to this. Excuse me. Last track, Dedicated. All right, here we go.
Popular demand. It's magic.
Dedicated. Yeah. When Carlito was dying, you see the shadow of his girl dancing with the baby. Like, fuck it, it's my time, but if God save me, maybe I'll erase any vice that could potentially bring harm to me. Before I make a move, I think about it karmically. Everything come back like a boomerang. I'm black as Paul Mooney's slang. And all I pray for is health and a sustainable business and a faithful missus. I see a lot of people try to be who they ain't. We don't want money that fit in the bag, we want the bank. Just to spread it around like icing on the cake. White Tiger out the cage, Mike Tyson in 88. Dedicated like Jack Boys on Melrose. Smash and grab, yo, this world became a hellhole. Stay cool is what I tell those youngins, so they don't end up in jail clothes. I dedicated my life. Dedicated my life. I dedicated that is his inspiration. Dedicated my whole damn life. If I wanted to now, I could live an old man.
I'm gonna fast forward a little bit because everybody wants to try to get at least the beat switch. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm a sucker for a beat switch.
Let's see if I can. Hopefully,
Not necessarily men's. I'm just a G and constructs a pelly. Ghetto manners as you thugging me.
I'm gonna rewind this song. All right, here we go. So I rewind it because I know people want to hear the switch. So here we go.
Life, I dedicated my life. I dedicated my. Test, yeah. Get to this point. I might have to write a manuscript. Yo, ghetto manners, is you thugging me or asking, finessing me or pressing me when none of that is happening. Accessory to murder, not necessarily Manson. I'm just a G and constructs a Pelly Pell or a Vanson. Ratty close, we haven't spoken years, pat his coat. Check his waistline, he's spying on who has the most. Best to leave me alone, I get in my zone. Laughing with African presidents while over the phone. Should be feeling like the last days cash made. Mirrors on the ceiling with a bad babe. Same age, but niggas be having mad grades. Million man march for real niggas never last place. Blazing gas like
I mean, let me tell you something, man. I don't know why they do it. You know what I mean? But like, you can literally break these apart and have two super dope joints. You know what I mean? But they put it into one song. You know, we've never got an explanation from it. It's just this is what Hit Boy likes to do. You know what I'm saying? But Tony, go ahead, man.
So yeah, man, that's exactly what I was gonna lead with. Like I was gonna give it a 19 because the first half I was giving it a 9, and then the beat switch, man, and yeah. So I guess that would equal a 9.5. You know what I mean? But that beat switch would have been a 10. You know, if that second portion would have been a 10 for me for sure. And I like the first portion, but then he upped it up. He upped the level, so it's like now I gotta grade them in halves. You know.
So what are you giving this one?
Actually, 9.8.
9.8. 9.8. All right, Savvy.
That beat switch is changing. It is changing people's score over. Let's be honest. Said I gotta change my score from a 9 to a 9.5, and that just shows you how hard that beat switch do. Hit Boy is a mean master with that beat switch, and I still feel like I'm walking down a staircase in the dark when I listen to 27 Summers. You know, you think there's more, and then it's just abruptly over. You're like, whoa, hold up, damn, like. I'm really here. I'm at the end. It's over. I almost busted my ass. You know what I'm saying? And it's just it bugs me out how some of this stuff just doesn't go on long enough for me. I want to give this one. I give this one a 9.5. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's a great send off. I like it best at the end of the album. I don't think it belongs anywhere else in the sequence on the album.
Okay.
Right. Like other songs could get pushed somewhere in the track list, but not this one. You know, and the chat really loves this one. This is probably the chat's favorite song aside from The Truth. They're giving this song 12s and 11s and all kinds of crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? ASMR Free gave it a 5. I don't know what you was listening to.
A 5?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he gave it a 5.
No.
That's Ron's burner account.
Right. Savvy, what did you give it? What you give it?
I gave it a 9.5.
9. Okay.
The scores are mostly 10s and 9s, 9.5s. There's an 8.5 in there.
All right, keep track of that. We'll come back and grab it. Let me get to Jarrell. Jarrell, what you get?
10 easy. That's already. I kind of played my hand earlier. I said the last 3 songs are my go-tos for this album anyway. So yeah, that's a 10. I love beat switches in producing, and I don't know, that second beat might be the best beat on the album.
Might be.
Like that's fire. Like
that's a hard beat.
That's a hard beat, man. That 50 Go sample just faint like that, and yeah, I like that. That's fire. 10.
Yeah. Ron?
I mean, y'all already, kind of hit the nail on it. I don't like beat switches for that same reason. Every time I hear a beat switch, I got to tell you 9 times out of 10, that second beat, the second beat is so fire that I'm like, why couldn't they make this its own song? It always happens. Whatever. Even in R&B, it could be not even the beat. It could just be the way the song changes and it's smoothed out. They always do that, man. Get me sick. So I'm gonna give this a 9 just because they upset me. No. I'm gonna give it a 9 because it's just that's how I feel it is. I like the first part of it. I like the R&B kind of vibe to it, but I don't like the hook. It's just me. I'm not a big fan of the hook for it. I think the hook could have been a little different. But that second part, the beat switch, that joint is fire. So that keeps it at a 9 for me. It's just that if it had a stronger hook, maybe it'd be a little higher.
Okay. This is a 10 for me. When I first heard it, I was a little shaky about the hook too, but then it really grew on me. And then as I listened to it more, because when I first listened to it, I don't think I really comprehended the beat, I guess. I don't know. And the more I listened to it and I was listening, I was like, yo, this first beat is crazy too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then it switches, to the second beat, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's as I listen, this is really growing and becoming, one of my top 3 tracks for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's hard.
Because I really do like the vibe of the first half, and then I like the vibe of the second half of it too.
Mm-hmm. And I was just gonna say, keep in mind to y'all and the chat, this is my second listen, so that's
right.
I'm giving you that second listen.
Right.
It's dope. It's dope that you haven't heard it through. You know what I'm saying? You're like rediscovering it.
Yeah.
No, that is not dope. He's had 2 weeks.
It came out before Christmas, and tomorrow is the 7th.
Listen, you're right. I should have listened to it more, but I've been a little bit still Nick fans.
Right. You've been bumping Reasonable Doubt. That's what you've been doing. So what's up with the chat, Savvy?
Reggie Noble said ASMR Maniac is Ty, and King KO is Lenny S.
Just going back and forth with each other.
But yeah, we got 10, 10, 9, 10, 11, 12, 9, 10, 10, 9.5, 8.5, 9.9. I don't know what the 0.1 you took off was. All right, fam. And it looked like a 10 according to the chat. This might be their favorite song. And that beat switch is me. Blazing Gas like Young Haitian Jack. That speaks to the zone. Me, you already know what's up. Shout out to Haiti. Pray for Haiti. Shout out to Mac Homie.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mac Homie. Mac Homie just dropped something that was dope too.
Yeah.
He raw.
So what are we looking at with it? I didn't get what the score is for it. What's the score? I mean,
the overall score from the chat.
There's at least one 9.5. I seen that at least.
Yeah. There's a 9.5. Let's be honest, brought their score from a 9 to a 9.5. And then there's that 1.5 in there.
I mean, it's like over a 9. You know that much. It's all them 11s and 12s or 10s, basically.
Yeah, it's probably somewhere
it's
around
high.
like a 9.7 or something like that. Listening to the chat. So
For real.
It looks like it's got about a 9.6 score. All right. And so when we look at it, you see Speechless got a 10. Meet Joe Black got a 9.1. Ugly, 9.3. 4016, 9.3. Hollywood Gangsta got 9.2. Woo for the Children, 8.8. The Truth, Wave Gods, 9.8. The Truth got a 10. And Dedicated is at a 9.6. It's 9 tracks. This gives a cumulative score of a 9.45 for a cumulative score. So give me a second. I'm going to get that cumulative score up here. All right. And so that's about what, a 9.5, I guess? If you're rounding it up.
Yeah, I would say so. And you know what's interesting? What's interesting about that score is I saw somebody like probably a week after the album came out, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody tweeted, there was like, I think it was one of the guys I follow on Twitter that I used to write for The Source. He was like, if I was reviewing this album for The Source, I'd give it 4.5 mics.
Yeah. Okay.
Makes sense.
I mean,
I was just thinking the same thing.
Makes sense.
I think we did pretty good here. Final score is a 9.5. You know what I'm saying? Seems pretty fair. Seems like it's pretty much on point.
Now I gotta go back and see what we actually came up with KD2.
Yeah, go back and check. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I don't remember.
That's a good idea. And
you know what I'm saying?
And man, oh man, like I love that video you did where he hears the beat for Speechless for the first time.
Yeah. So let me ask y'all about KD3. What is your what do you expect from it, and what do you want to hear that we haven't heard over from KD1 to Magic that we haven't heard from Nas?
All right.
And what are the expectations? Go ahead, Tony.
I'm nervous, but I'm encouraged. So I'm nervous because this Magic project, like, this is the Nas that I like the most. Mm-hmm. Like the you know what I mean? Like, this is what it really brought me back to his Illmatic days and the Clue freestyles and like that when he was just, it felt like he had something to prove back then. Right now it's the opposite. It don't feel like he got something to prove. It just feels like he's just letting it out. You know what I mean? Like stuff that was built up. The reason I'm nervous though is because he announced it. You know, this is the teaser. So me personally, the expectation is great, even greater.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if he would have been like, yo, KD3 next week, then I'd just be like, all right, I can't wait to hear this. But the fact that he announced it in this album, and this album is so good to me, like. But the encouraging thing is, from KD1 to KD2 to this, I feel like they have improved. They put better product together, bought product out together. So that is encouraging, but I never really been disappointed in a Nas album. So that also is encouraging.
Yeah, like,
I never would have guessed that, Tony. Never would have guessed that.
never would have guessed that at all.
Man, oh, that's dope. That's funny.
Yeah.
I expect greatness. I expect them to have learned from all of the features in the past that missed, which it seems like they did to me, because ASAP is the only feature on here and he slid. That was hard. You know what I'm saying? YKTV and probably Spicy with the 5-year verse. That 5-year verse is always just takes me right out my vibe. I don't know why. I just don't mess with the verse. First time I heard it, I loved it, but then I started really listening to what he was saying. I'm like, it's don't really make sense. But like, I want to see a strong judicial selection when it comes to what the features are going to be, and I expect that they'll do a great job. I think the beats are going to be some of the hardest that they've had, because we got this one and the beats are so tightly packed and incredible on this album. That I think the symbiosis, the relationship that they have with each other only gets stronger. What would be dope, and Tony Crow just kind of touched on this. I would like to see it in sections, right? I would like to see, you know, a beginning, a middle, and the end, and maybe in between we get just some one-off freestyles. Short little freestyles, like here's just a freestyle verse about something that's going to lead us into the theme of the next section of the album. I think that would be a really ill way to bring it all home, because we saw what the themes were on the first one and on the second one. This one is just rapping, you know, and just giving you some loose, like, self-contained ideologies. So for the third one, I expect nothing but greatness. I think it's going to be the best one that they've done yet.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I think there's a lot of there's some pretty high expectations for this one, you know, because I think everyone is expecting for it to get better and better and better and better. It's going to make it tough. Jarrell, what do you think, man?
I think it's going to be tough because it depends on what people are expecting. It's obviously not going to be this. Right, he's going to have more features, I would think. It's going to be more commercial, more stuff that's going to sound like singles. At least I think. Because this is obviously not a King's Disease. Right. So it won't be this at all. But I like this more than KD 1 and 2. So I'm not going to say that I'm looking forward to KD3. I'm looking forward to Magic 2.
Okay.
But
Right.
you know, don't get me wrong, it's a Nas album, so obviously I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not looking forward to it as much as I would look forward to another one of these, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be big features on the third one because there's a trilogy. Like, I would hope they would end on a trilogy, even though this is something that we don't want to end, but trilogies usually mean the end. So to me, this might have a J feature on it. This might be somebody like, you know, or somebody that hasn't rapped in a while. Like, I don't know, maybe Andre, 3K, J Electronica. Somebody else that rhymes very, very well is going to rhyme with Nas on the next album.
I agree with you.
Shoot, I wouldn't mind hearing him with Black Thought.
Yeah.
Thank you. That would be dope too.
And you know, if they're sticking to the theme, they're gonna have some younger artists. I would love to see it be J. Cole and Kendrick.
That would be hard.
I would love that too, but that's not happening. You know that.
That would be crazy.
Kendrick don't get out of bed for nobody.
I mean, he was on Busta's album.
That was old though.
Yeah, that was old. That's true.
That was old stuff. Kendrick ain't rap for nobody but his family in the last.
If it's not Aftermath family, if it's not Dre, and some Packer, Eminem,
he don't.
then Kendrick is not getting out of bed.
Well, if he can't get Kendrick,
but that would be dope.
Then J. Cole, then just get Cole.
I don't believe that though. I think
he would do it for Nas.
That's what I'm saying.
Because of who he is, I think he'd do it.
Oh, don't get me wrong. If Nas asked him, that's different. I'm just talking about like if they just tried to get him. If Kendrick is in album mode now, you know he's about to come out.
Right.
He ain't doing a feature with nobody. That's just how he is. Like, he's never done that before. I'll be shocked if he's in album mode and on somebody else's album. If that makes sense. I mean, unless it's somebody on TDE.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
and he leaving them too.
But you know, but you know, now you know the blueprint for King Disease is to have some young artists, you know, some young artists on there. That would be the tippy top, right?
But they're not young no more.
Yeah, that's true. They're not young. They're not young no more. But I think they still got the ear.
Right.
Of the young fans like that. I
think Wayne might be on it because he's giving out features.
Yeah.
And since we're talking about commercial tracks, you know, one commercial track that might be, you know, a radio spinner, a single, he might link up with Rihanna and have her sing some.
That makes sense.
Because he's with A$AP Rocky on this album, you know who can reach Rihanna.
Right.
If one person can reach out to Rihanna right now, it's A$AP Rocky.
Right.
You might hear
Her on the phone right now.
That's a good point.
Yep.
That's you, Ron. That's you.
You know what I'm saying? So if we just get Rihanna and Raekwon on that album, I'm happy.
Nas gonna be hanging out with A$AP, trying to ease his way. Oh, I didn't know you had company.
That's how
you know
the feature. That's
right.
smart.
Yeah.
Hey, was that Rihanna?
Hey, you know.
Hit boy know what he
Rihanna,
doing.
Raekwon, AZ. That's it.
Hi, Rihanna.
AZ.
I mean,
see, that would be that. Another AZ track would be epic to end out King's Disease.
That would
put as the last track. I'm good with that.
Yeah, I mean it had to be and not like they did with Full Circle, not Affirm, but just AZ.
Yeah, just
yes.
Yeah, just AZ.
Yeah, we need that back. We need that back and forth. It'd be nice AZ, Raekwon, and Ghost, and have a have them both go back and forth.
I would like the Avengers to form too, but we just asking for.
What you think, Ron?
Man.
I know,
like the
right?
best track ever.
It might be a little bit too much. I don't know.
Man. That's asking for too much.
I want to see what the Hope man wants to hear in KD3.
Well, okay. I mean,
He
listen.
wants to hear Hope.
If you ask me personally, I said, I have to listen. I got to listen to King's Disease 2 again because Magic is like, this might be from Nas's catalog to me, maybe his fourth or third best album for what I like to hear. That's saying a lot. because I'm talking about like right behind Illmatic, and It Was Written for me. Like this, I like Magic a lot. Now that I can have a chance to sit with it, so I'm thinking, yeah, I think King's Disease 3 will only. I mean, just speaking for me personally, it's only going to be a letdown for me because I know it's going to be a different style of some
Yeah,
sort.
they're not going to do
It's going to
this.
change from what I just heard from Magic. I'm just not going to like it
Yeah.
as much. I just know
They're
that's
not
what's
gonna
going to
do
happen.
They're not going to
Part
do
two.
this.
They're not.
No, I don't think.
Unfortunately.
I don't think.
Yeah, and I'm really digging this flow. I'm digging how it's all set up. Like I'm really liking it a lot.
So-
and I'm giving y'all was kicking a lot of hype and stuff about it. And like I said, I didn't really get a chance to sit with it, but now sitting with it, and it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Tough.
I'm giving a lot of credit for that.
You know
I
what?
like real quick, I like a Royce feature too.
Oh,
Oof.
Thank you for saying that.
that'd be.
Royce would be
I've
good.
been
I like a Royce feature.
I've been dying to hear them together ever since
That'd
I
be nice.
heard that last Voice album. I was like, yo,
That'd be nice.
some of these beats. Yeah.
Well, let me tell you.
Go ahead,
Go
Ron.
ahead, Sam.
No, go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say, one of the things that I always wanted to happen that will never, ever, ever happen. Like I would have to hit the lotto and call all three of them, put them in a room, and tell them, "Look, I'm gonna give you $1 million just for doing it each." I always wanted to see an album with Nas, Jay-Z, and M.
And M.
I know it never happened,
M?
but I always wanted to see that.
That would be ill. That would be too ill.
I think you should play the Big Bubba theme song.
The only here's the thing. I dig Eminem, cool. The only reason I don't think it'll work because Eminem will try to produce it. I'm gone after that. I'm gone.
Yeah, no,
like
I wouldn't
if he
let that
touched
happen.
the
Right.
boards, I'm gone. He need to be
Ron's not
in the
letting that
booth,
happen.
and that's it.
Right.
Now with executive producer Ron in the building.
Nah, especially if I'm giving each of them $1 million just for coming to the table. Nah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is that Eminem
Right
makes
now-
better
right-
songs with Hov than he makes with Nas.
Right now, that $1 million is like a $10 bill
Yeah,
to those.
yeah, I was about to say you're talking about three of the richest rappers.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
Right.
they're all almost like either a billionaire or close to it.
It might
You
cost that
trying to
much
say
for a
my
verse.
little $1 million ain't gonna do much for them?
I don't think so. Now when Beyonce got purses that cost just as much as
Yeah.
that,
Word.
Yeah, but- okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's a good point. Well, listen, this is a thought I had like almost 15 years ago. So at that time, maybe my money would win a little
Yeah,
further.
at that time, yeah, at least with Nas, maybe with Nas it would have went a little farther, but probably still with Jay, you still would have
Right.
probably sneezed at it.
right?
Yeah, maybe. Well, listen.
Eminem
y'all,
would do it
this is-
just to be with them.
Oh, well, yeah, of course. This has been dope for me. I appreciate you having me on, Sim. I got to get up out of here because I got an early
Okay,
start.
no doubt.
But I did want to say one thing for all of y'all who may not know this, because I'm a little bit of a contradiction when it comes to what I like. I'm a Knicks fan. I love the Knicks, but I told y'all who know me that Scottie Pippen was my favorite basketball player. Well, on the flip side of that, even though Jay-Z is my favorite rapper, my favorite song ever is Nas Represent from Illmatic.
Okay,
Makes sense.
All right.
That's the
So, I mean, that's
hardest
just
thing.
how I am.
I don't understand
mean?
why people can't do both. I
Right.
never had that.
Absolutely.
I could just listen to one thing and that's it. Like I can't do that.
Nah, I'm definitely a fan of both. I just be trolling. Just because this was the argument,
That's
the
how it
high
is.
school lunchroom talk,
Yeah.
Right.
I'm a big
I just
I'm a
like to
big
keep
fan
it
of
going.
Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big fan. I'm just not as big of a fan as I am of Nas, but I'm a big fan of Jay-Z.
And Ron, just keep it real.
yeah.
All of us are Knicks fans, right? Most of the time, our favorite player ain't on the Knicks. What are you I never had a favorite player on the Knicks. Are you serious?
know what I'm
Never.
saying?
I've
Right.
Patrick, I'm 42. Patrick Ewing was he was never my favorite player though. No. With the knee braces. No, I mean with the knee pads. No, he was not my favorite player ever. No. People be lying, yo. People be lying their butt off.
Right. So, I think KD3, some things that I'm looking forward to. Ron, I know, you got to rock out. I'm looking for a couple signature Nas things on that album. I want to hear a story.
Well, that's yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of a just a signature Nas thing. I want to hear a story, and it's something that I don't think that I've heard from him in a while. Is like just a real super dope concept song, like a rewind or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I've heard that for a while. And maybe all the concepts are used up. I don't know. You know what I mean?
A lot have been used. But
there's a lot of concepts out there that's been used, but I'd like to hear another concept song like that from Nas.
Wasn't didn't he have one? Was it Queen's Wolf?
Yeah, he had Queen's Wolf. You know that. I mean,
that was pretty.
It was. I liked it. It was cool, but you know what I'm saying. I don't want to say groundbreaking because I don't know if you can come up with anything groundbreaking. But there's a few different type of concepts that that he really kind of broke the mold. The rewind, of course. One mic.
One Love.
Can't think of what's One Love, right? That back then I can't think of what you call it from It Was Written. Can't think of the name of the song now, but
there was that song Undying Love. I think that was on I Am.
You have Undying
was
Love.
Was that the I Am album?
Undying Love. That was that. That was. I mean, of course, that was a story,
hard.
But I'm talking about what you call it from It Was Written. With the gun.
I gave you power.
I gave you power.
I gave you power.
I gave you power. You know what I'm saying? So I'd like to hear, a dope concept that kind of breaks the mold from him. Haven't heard one of those in a while.
Great points made, man. And now that I think of it, if we're thinking of a young MC to feature on there, he did do that Life is Like a Dice Game song with Corday.
Yeah.
Corday is about to drop his next album in a couple of weeks. Might see a Corday verse on there. I know he likes Corday.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Wow.
Could be something there.
Yeah. Well, listen, fellas, I really had a great time, man. This was one of the best ones, I think. This was one of the best reviews. You know what I mean? One of the best ones. I want to ask everybody, please.
Tons of fun.
If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe. We'll definitely be breaking down more albums. All right. So subscribe to the channel. Hit those like buttons. I got like 67 likes. We had, up to 130 people in here. So if you can hit the like button, please just hit the like button for me. Subscribe to the channel so you'll be notified when anytime we drop any kind of content. All right. So yeah, let me get around, just get some last words and we get up out of here. Tony.
As always, Sim, I appreciate you putting this platform together, and to the chat, look out for more content. We're working on some things. So shout out to the chat. Your Blackest Time. Shout out to the panel. Sim, keep doing your thing.
No doubt. And Savvy.
Shout out to the Stoop fam. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Ron from Still Knicks fans, and I am Jarrell for joining us tonight on this review. This hip hop thing is beautiful. Hip hop is everywhere and it's all around us, and it makes life gorgeous. Shout out to Nas. Hip hop. Keep it locked for more coming soon.
No doubt. And Jarrell.
Thanks for having me, Sim. This was a dope album, man. I like to do this again whenever another, classic or semi-classic drop that we can do. Shout out to everybody in the chat. It's 2:00 in the morning. I know everybody will be out.
Yeah, for real. We appreciate you guys, man. Thank you. Just look forward, subscribe, hit them like buttons. Look forward to notifications. The more stuff coming out, man. We out of here. Peace. And I don't have an outro, but we're working on it. Intro and the outro. We're working on it. We will have one soon. But we out. Peace.